Welcome to Spa Marketing Made Easy, a podcast for spa owners who want to step up their leadership and business skills and step into the role as spa CEO. I'm your host, Daniela Warner, CEO of Addo Aesthetics and founder of the Growth Factor Framework program, where we teach, coach, and guide spa owners in scaling their spas to the next level of growth and unlocking freedom in their life and their business. I'm so glad you're here. Now let's dive into the show. Profit over revenue all day, every day. That is what we're screaming from the mountaintops over here at Addo Aesthetics. Now, we believe in building a business that supports the life that you want to live, which, by the way, can shift and change based on the season that you're in. Now, when you're focused on profitability in your business, you have more freedom. Freedom to slow down in a season if need be. Freedom to invest in a new piece of equipment. Freedom to hire additional staff. So as we're moving into 2025, I wanted to share a list of 6 high profit services to consider adding to your service menu. And if you want to do a good deed for the day, consider sending this episode to a friend in the aesthetic space. Maybe you've heard the quote, "Life gives to the giver and takes from the taker." Always be a giver. Also, the first 3 are for those in medical aesthetics only. So if you're in a day spa model, don't worry. I definitely have some high profit services for you as well. Just be sure to listen to the entire episode. Okay, so first up, medically assisted weight loss. Big surprise for anyone who has been in our world for the last year. I have been talking about this nonstop. I've been following this extremely closely, and the growth has just been tremendous. Now, there was a report that SkyTail Group and QSight put out showing that the weight loss and dietary lifestyle segment pushed spending to $1.2 billion in 2023, which was a 236% increase from the previous year. Now, with the amount of growth that I've seen from the practices that we are working with directly, this number is going to continually increase. I cannot wait to see the data that they get from 2024. And this is even with tirzepatide taken off the shortage list, okay? Practices are still going to continue to grow with semaglutide. Now, when we look at total non-surgical spend, so when we're talking about medical aesthetics services in the US that are non-surgical, that number is $15 billion. That was in 2023. $1.2 billion of that was medically assisted weight loss. That is a huge margin for something that hasn't really been this, service that everybody talks about and knows about as they do today. Now consider that neurotoxin, which Botox, Dysport, Xeomin, Jeuveau, all of the different neuromodulators, right? So that neurotoxin category is the largest piece of the pie. It was at $4.8 billion. So if we see medically assisted weight loss surging up, doing $1.2 billion in such a short period of time, it's really something to pay attention to. Now, the thing with medically assisted weight loss is that we are helping our patients with a lifestyle shift. Medical spas are not just getting rid of lines and wrinkles anymore, okay? We are shifting to overall wellness, and we're seeing that in the services that patients are requesting. So the point is, to create a successful medically assisted weight loss program, you don't want to just bring on semaglutide. You want to have a process around it. What's the entire client journey? Are you incorporating any type of nutrition or exercise or even mindfulness? We want to help our patients make a real lifestyle shift, okay? Now, side note here, be sure to check the show notes of this episode because next month in January, we are offering a 2-hour workshop-style masterclass on medically assisted weight loss. We're going to go over all the business aspects, the pricing. We've, of course, have resources for you to launch or relaunch this into your practice. Now, if you're a founding member of APA, meaning that you joined in 2024, you get to attend this class for free, as well as all of our master classes we're having each month. And there's still time to become a founding member. So be sure to check the show notes for that. All right. Now, this is going to lead me into our next high profit service of the year. And that is bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, which is a lot easier to say. Now, hormones have been in the medical aesthetic space for quite some time. I remember back in 2012, I had a training on them, but they'd never really taken off as I believe we are about to see in the next 1 to 2 years. And this is directly related to the fact that we are seeing such a shift towards overall wellness. And also that they couple so beautifully with medically assisted weight loss. So I think that we're going to expand our demographics in the industry. We're going to see patients who have not ever considered going to a medical spa, but now they are. And as many of you know, weight loss, or, having weight that's not coming off in the way that you would traditionally lose weight, oftentimes has a hormonal component to it. So BioT is a company that I have heard good things about from some of our nurses. They offer a lot of support. I do not have any type of relationship with them. I'm just repeating what I have heard from our nurses that are doing well with medically assisted weight loss and HRT. So again, if you're already doing medically assisted weight loss, hormones is absolutely something that you should consider. Added bonuses for both of these services is that they are relatively low price points and they work on a monthly pay schedule. So that means recurring revenue. Big plus. I love recurring revenue. Okay, so let's move right along to high profit service number 3, and that is IV therapy. Yes, we are very much continuing on with services that focus on overall wellness. But what I love about IVs is that, yes, you can totally have an IV lounge that works. But what's interesting to me as someone who really loves productivity is using this as an add-on while you're receiving another service. So think about your filler patients that need to numb and are just sitting there waiting for the cream to start working. Think about Cool Sculpting or M-Sculpt. And yes, I know that with certain areas, depending on what you're treating, you may be in a weird position. But with others, you could totally be receiving your service and a drip at the same time. Any way that we can increase revenue per hour per room really makes me happy. And this is a way that we can make our patients look good and feel good. Super win-win. All right, high profit service number 4 is consultations. And this is the bridge between medical spas and day spas. So historically, we've seen medical spas offering consults. Many of them even have a patient care coordinator, which is a dedicated role specific to doing consultations and essentially sales. They're helping the patient map out a treatment plan that will help them reach their skincare goals. Now, I truly believe that if you are not offering consultations in your practice, then you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So a very long time ago, I worked for this guy named Matt Toronto. You may have heard of him. He and his wife, Kathy, and Kathy's been on the podcast before. We'll make sure that we link that up in the show notes. But those two they're like an aesthetics power couple. They've really made their mark on the industry. They have a hugely successful medical spa and also a consulting firm called Mint Aesthetics. Now, anyway, when I was working for him, he taught me to always spend a couple of minutes going over all of the things that we offer, not just the thing that the patient came in for the consultation for. So the patient may have a family member or a friend who's in search of that service, and they didn't even know it was possible. So years ago, while I was working for Matt, I took his recommendation and went through the process, and the patient I was consulting with was completely unaware that tattoo removal was even possible. It's a great way to give brand awareness and position yourself as an expert. Now, in a day spa, you may be doing consultations for acne, but not for anything else. And yes, I know there are a lot of clients who they just want to come in for a facial. But what about offering them 30 minutes before or after to do a retail consult where you ask them to bring in their current products that they're using? Clients love this. It also shifts the energy from kind of slight anxiety around retail, which a lot of providers feel, to your client directly asking you to review their home care with them. It shifts it. Now, we are also big fans of Image Medical and the Sunlight Pro that they offer. So having an imaging device like this in your office, it allows you to measure apples to apples and truly show the progression that your patients and clients are making, because let's be real, people forget what they looked like before, regardless of you being in a day spa or med spa. So consultations overall, they up-level the client experience. They give you better before and afters, and they help you to cross-sell even more. All right, next up is number 5 on the list, and that is waxing. Yes, good old-fashioned waxing. So if you have a day spa, it's a great idea to hire in a provider who loves waxing and is fast. Now, the top areas are going to be bikini and Brazilian, underarms, and in terms of facial waxing, you're going to have brows, lip, and chin. Brazilian will take the most skill, and gold standard for this is really offering a 15-minute service. The consumable cost should be somewhere between $4 to $6. I like it closer to $4. And that means that you have a highly profitable service on your hand. The fastest way that you can kill this profit margin is by blocking out 45 minutes to an hour for a Brazilian. I would recommend a 30-minute block. That's going to give you time to greet the client, give them time to get undressed, and not make the client feel rushed. Over the years, I found that there are 2 types of providers in the world: those who are waxers and to those who are not. I am not. So could I learn and could I be great if I really put my mind to it? Of course I could, but it was just never really my thing. So find someone who loves waxing, who has the talent, and your bottom line will benefit. Okay, now on to the last, but certainly not the least. That is spray tan. Now, spray tan is a great service for brides, or if you're in an area with a younger demographic. So I typically see a younger, 30 and below, are the people that are getting spray tans more regularly. Now, you can have a provider that hand sprays, or you can actually purchase a booth that does the work for you. Of course, that is going to be more money up front. Now, like waxing, this is a short time to complete the service with a very low consumable, which is why I added it to the list. Now, make sure that you understand if you're looking at purchasing any type of equipment, make sure that you're paying attention to where that equipment is coming from in our current political climate. If there are tariffs that are introduced into certain countries, then we want to understand how that's going to affect our equipment that we're purchasing. So pay special attention to that before those go into effect. If you're going to be buying a piece of equipment, make sure that you know where that's coming from and understand if the price is going to go up in the coming year. So keep that in your mind as you're thinking about profit. Okay. Now, before I wrap this up, I want to share a couple of other trends that I'm seeing in our industry that definitely align with wellness. So I'm talking about saunas, the infrared saunas. I'm talking about float tanks, cold plunges, and even salt caves. Adding these into your practice, if you have an extra room, could be a great way to add value to your membership, could be a great way to target a different demographic. I've actually been doing some research online for different spas, and I'm actually seeing a lot of wellness centers add float tanks, cold plunges, and saunas, and targeting athletes and targeting CrossFit gyms and targeting these types of places to get more men to receive massages and just sauna, cold plunge, etc. for overall wellness. Really interesting way to attract a new vertical of clients into your practice. Okay. So if you align with any of them, they do have the potential to add a large amount of profit to your business. Now, I want to wrap up how I started, and that is by saying profit over revenue all day, every day. That's the money that goes into your pocket. Yes, we love what we do, and what a blessing it is to love what we do, but it's also okay to love to get paid as well. Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you on the next episode. As always, if you want to keep the conversation going, I want you to head on over to the Spa Marketing Made Easy Facebook group, the #1 free resource out there for estheticians focused on business building. We've got weekly marketing tips, a monthly goal setting and planning session, monthly esthetician business book club, plus a community of thousands of estheticians committed to business building in the spa industry. I'll see you there. Quick reminder before you leave, if your spa growth still depends on you doing more, it's time for a shift. Watch The System Shift, a free training designed to help spa owners break past that $25,000 to $35,000 month plateau without adding more treatment hours. You'll learn the CEO level systems that help you scale while protecting your time, your values, and your peace. Go to grow.autoaesthetics.com/podcast and watch The Systems Shift. That's grow.autoaesthetics.com/podcast.